I feel like once bodybuilding and the big culture of natty or not, the natty or not culture made bodybuilding a lot worse for young people. But also so did social media, which you're right. I agree. TikTok and Instagram made people want to use steroids for sure. Like, imagine you have like a dream about, and I don't do this.
A sex dream?
Yeah, but other people might do this.
With some chick from the gym and your girl finds out?
No. Yeah. But then your woman finds out. And
who would it be if you did, though, D?
Yeah. Good one.
Yeah, would that be considered cheating then?
Kinda. If she gets to see it, she'd be pissed.
Well, my mom goes, nope, I think she's got a little baby bunny rabbit in her mouth. I was like, what? So I go over there, sure enough, bro, and she'd been trying to get under the fence to the neighbor's yard. Turns out there's a bunch of baby rabbits on that side too.
Yeah.
So she's shaking this thing, gnawing on it and shit. It's like tiny, bro. Like it must have been newborn, and they grow fast, like 10 days.
Super fast.
Yeah. So she's sitting over there playing with it, and I go over and I'm like, lady, and she like drops it, and I go to like shove her out of the way with my foot. Well, when I pushed her backside with my foot, she like leaned in and picked it up, bro, and then pelican swallowed it whole.
The rabbit?
The bunny rabbit, the baby bunny. She swallowed it fucking whole, bro. Like, you know how when you're trying to take something from a dog and they quickly scarf it down so you can't get it? She did that with the bunny, with the baby bunny, bro. Swallowed it whole.
Oh my God.
It's been since Memorial Day. Nothing's come of it, bro. Like, welcome back to another episode of Ill Eagle Culture Brands Red Tape Talk. I'm your host, John Nostos, aka Ill Eagle CEO, and I'm here with my two counterparts, Dion 2 Cup Larry and Cody Big Meat Milk. What's going on, guys?
I enjoy this orange cream. I really like this stuff, man.
Isn't it crazy?
This tastes really good.
It's like an energy drink, but protein.
Yeah.
It's so dope.
I like it.
And the 4 flavors that they have out are, I think all 4 of them taste bombs.
Yeah. The pineapple banana is really unique for sure. I wouldn't have thought of that, but I like it a lot.
No, I think this is going to be the next craze is protein RTDs. Watch, like this carbonated.
Did you know like Ghost is partnered with General Mills?
That's crazy.
Yeah. I just found that out just the other
Is that
day.
why they lost all their
what is
samples?
So what happened with Ghost is they're going to be like discontinued, right?
Well, all their flavor ones are going to be, they lost all their sample deals to make like the different flavors of.
So there's
candies and all
no
that.
more Orange Crush or anything, whatever.
They can just rename it.
Yeah.
They'll come out with their own flavor.
Is that what happened with Sprite? Sprite lost their.
No,
they didn't re-up their trademark.
Oh no, it wasn't Sprite. It was the other one,
Sierra Mist.
There was a girl that used it. I don't know if it was her real name or some shit like that, and she wanted to use it, and they told her she couldn't or something like that. And she went and looked, and they didn't have it trademarked anymore. They let their trademark expire.
Expired.
So she registered it and told them to stop using it, and they had to, bro.
That's crazy.
So they even tried to pay her out for it or something.
They renamed it to Sundrop or something.
No, it's a stupid name. Star
something.
Something.
Is
Star.
that why it's called? Yeah, it's that one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So this was recent.
Yeah, it was pretty recent.
That's wild.
She outsmarted the fuck out of this multi-billion-dollar fucking company, bro. Isn't that crazy? And then she just fucking imposed it on them too. They could have been like, "I'll give you a quick meal or some shit." She said, "Nah." Whatever they offered her, she's like, "Nope."
That's wild.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Crazy.
Starry.
Yeah,
That's what it's called. Starry.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Well, man, we got a lot of crazy shit going on. Should we jump in and see what in the world is happening?
What in the world?
Let's take a quick look first at segment number 1 that we have is what we're calling Dream Tapes. This is Japan's wild leap into mind recording technology. So scientists in Japan are now saying they can record human dreams. Japanese researchers have taken a mind-bending leap into the future. They've developed AI technology capable of decoding and reconstructing dream imagery from brain activity. Using functional MRI scans and deep learning models, they've mapped out visual representations of what subjects were dreaming while asleep. This is no longer sci-fi. This is happening in real labs right now. So how did they do it? The subjects slept inside the fMRI machines while hooked to EEGs. As they entered REM sleep, scientists woke them repeatedly, asking what they just saw. This input was used to train an AI to recognize neural patterns and match them with visual reconstructions. The AI's output, blurry but shockingly accurate dream visuals. So what could this mean? Privacy concerns, for one. Could employers or governments someday spy on your dreams? Legal and ethical territory. Is your dream evidence? Could it be weaponized in law or surveillance? Therapeutic uses. Tracking nightmares in PTSD, unlocking repressed trauma, or aiding in dream therapy. And then speculative frontier. Could this tech lead to dream sharing, mind reading, or even virtual simulations built from your unconscious? Some conspiracies and speculations. MK Ultra 2.0 potentially. Could governments use this to extract information from prisoners or dissidents? And then tech giants like Neuralink or DARPA could be next in line for this. Are we heading into a future where thought crime becomes real? Some theorists are already calling this the beginning of a digital soul mirror, capturing not just our data, but our inner psyche. That's kind of crazy. Would you guys do this?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, like, imagine you have like a dream about, and I don't do this.
A sex dream?
Yeah, but other people might do this.
With some chick from the gym, and your girl finds out?
No. Yeah. But then your woman finds out. And
who would it be if you did, though, dude?
Yeah, good one.
Would that be considered cheating then?
Kinda. If she gets to see it, she'd be pissed.
It's the human psyche, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how untrue it is, how false it is, or how subconscious it was for you. Your girl's gonna be like, nah, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
You be thinking about her all the fucking time, don't you? You're just
This probably isn't the first dream you've had.
Swear to God,
her.
it was the first time. It was random. Like, I don't even look at her like that. It's strange. Nope.
Yeah.
I want a
Anytime
divorce.
somebody has a dream like that, I would say they probably don't even remember the face of the person.
Right.
So, and it's usually their wife.
This will bring all that out. You know what I mean? Would you say you usually dream about your wife?
And I said it's usually probably their wife.
Oh yeah. Definitely for Cody,
dude. Dude, males are males. Like, we have sex dreams, and I'm sure females do too. Like, you can't control that. What even is a dream? Like, how does it get fucking processed through your brain? Like, how does
That's
it work?
the thing is, it depends on who you ask what a dream even is, bro. Because, like, you know, there's spiritual people out there who will tell you it's, you know, predicting the future. It's, you know, your what do they call that? Deja vu, like all these different things. You know, there's all these theories on what dreams are. They're messages from the past, messages from the future. Like, there's so much. So it's gonna be a matter of who thinks what in regards to what a dream means, and that's just dangerous.
Do either of you guys know the phrase for when you can control what you're doing in your dream? Like lucid dreaming.
Dreaming.
That, have either of you guys experienced a lucid dream?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like, the best ones are being able to fly.
And you don't fall?
No, it's like it's almost like short segments where I'm able to do it. But I specifically remember this dream where I'm like out in this courtyard, and I just concentrate on jumping really high and then being able to like fly.
That's pretty sick.
But it doesn't last very long, and I remember trying that whole dream just to be able to fly.
Here's a cool thing that they say about being able to control your dreams. They say that there's a psychological way for you to be able to go into your dreams and manipulate them. And the way that you do that is you find an inanimate object in the real world, and you look at it and you remember it. You try to memorize it. You tell yourself over and over, this can of element will be in my dream, the same flavor, the same color schemes. And then when you're going to bed, you think about it. As you fall asleep, if you can identify that can in your dream, you're able to take over from there and control it. So
I'm sure it's
something interesting to try.
I know
that'd be a good idea.
I know we've talked about it before about being able to control your dreams, but being able to actually watch your dreams, like that'd
be wild.
That'd be really
different.
cool. I would like that. No, I mean, I have some nightmares every once in a while. I feel like
that's what I'm saying. It's like you can watch, like you can watch an action movie, you can watch a horror movie, you can watch maybe a Dion's porn movie.
Exactly. And
What if
that's
people
good.
started like doing this and then trying to follow their dreams in real life to see like if things and things were coming to reality? Like, you know, like the dreams like where you there's money, you found money stashed somewhere, or you put it under your bed, and then you wake up and you go through that scenario and you run into the exact same end result where you end up with this money or some wild, like, imagine stuff like that starts happening. That'd be crazy, man.
So the other night, and I get my wisdom teeth taken out this next week on Friday.
I thought you already did that for some reason.
This next week on Friday, I get it done. So 1 week from today, like maybe at the beginning of this week or end of last week, I had a nightmare or a dream. It wasn't really that scary, but I had a dream they had injected me or made a hole with a needle and then took it out right in my like temple where the vein is.
Damn.
And then they took it out and then put the needle with the with the numbing stuff to my face and put it right into my face so that it could get right into my teeth. And then I woke up right away, and I was like, "Oh God, that's something that I must have just been hyperfixating on before I went to bed, and then I dreamt about it."
Yeah,
and
similar scenario. Then. Yeah,
it was awful.
Yeah, but don't you find it interesting that your brain just correlated that with like putting it into your temple?
Isn't that weird? Because I know it doesn't do that.
Yeah.
I know they don't.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, why would you think that in the dream?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is what they do is in the mouth, they go to the back of your mouth and they hit like the nerve endings, and they know what, you know, how much forward it's going to numb out and stuff like that when they do that. So it's probably a subconscious thought of knowing that whenever they go into your mouth, they know way in the back where to hit it to make it affect up here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that it might be a subconscious thing that you just identified getting your teeth done the last time when they numbed you.
Exactly.
And so then your brain was like, oh, all they got to do is inject, and there's a path to it or some shit. Who knows?
It was very weird.
Who knows? That's
I
crazy,
woke up
though.
right away and I was like, oh God. Then I went back to bed. It was like 3 a.m. So
that's wild.
But I wasn't scared, you know? Like normally with a nightmare, I wake up, I'm like, I got to turn the TV on for a little bit, calm back down, and then I'm good.
Do you guys ever have like nightmares, like actual like where you think you're gonna die?
If I eat before I go to bed or too close to bed and it's not healthy, I'll have a nightmare every time.
What?
Yeah.
Like,
what do you think that's from? Just sugars or something?
I just think it's because my body isn't shutting off, and like I genuinely like I don't know if it's maybe just the stressors from the day or what. Obviously, like I have something to where I like to have some noise on at any point throughout the night. I'll turn it off. Obviously, like I'll have my TV on for an hour, and it's got a timer. But that soothes me down, calms me down. I'm ready to go to bed. It shuts off, and I'm good. But if I have a nightmare, I'll
what kind of nightmare?
Like I'm dying or somebody's killing me. One of the two usually is the case, but it's never. Or like somebody's getting hurt in my family, one of the two. It would be like something like that. But usually it's dying, and I either die before I wake up or die right as I'm about to wake up. So, but it's always awful. I wake up and I'm like, but if I eat and it's unhealthy or like a lot, then I will have a nightmare almost always now, I've noticed.
That's crazy.
It's very weird. But I think it's because my body isn't shutting off because it's trying to digest that food. Yeah. And so then my mind doesn't truly shut down. And before I go to bed, I'm thinking about all these things, and then it just I'm not thinking about dying every night, obviously, but it just plays in my head throughout the night, and then my mind keeps wandering, and I get into a darker spot.
Nothing like specific is getting you?
Not anymore. I used to have a very specific nightmare where I was running around a car at the home that I lived at, like the first home that we lived at and rented. I was running around one of our Cadillacs, and somebody's chasing me with a knife, and I used to have that dream like pretty frequently.
You don't know who it was?
Couldn't tell you.
I used to have a fever dream that was reoccurring all the time. Where whenever I was sick with like a fever, I would be in this giant, just empty room. Like there's no walls, but it just goes all white forever, right? There's nothing in it, but a giant boulder rolling around kind of chasing me. And I'm like, that's wild. Trying to dodge it the whole time. And I would always have this reoccurring dream when I was sick, especially as a kid. I remember it. And I used to call it a fever dream because it was like anytime I had a high temperature, I would have this same reoccurring dream where this giant boulder was rolling around in a room that had no walls, nowhere for me to run and hide. And I would just be running from it endlessly, bro. And I would just randomly wake up from it. But
I wonder if AI will ever get to the point where you can just like type it up into AI, like AI explain my dream, and then they'll just be able to fucking give you an explanation about what it is. Wouldn't that be cool?
Have you guys seen the meme? Well, it's not really a meme, but it was on Instagram. I saw it. It was a kid keeps drawing photos for his dad because his kid drew one day on a Sunday or whatever. The dad takes it, he puts it into his AI generator, and it's just the little kids making cartoon characters, basically. He puts it into the AI, makes them realistic cartoon characters, and the kid loves it. Every day at school that week, he makes a new one, and then the dad puts it into the AI generator, and he showed it, and I was just like, that's super cool. You could do that with a dream through AI, and they can put that. Have you guys been seeing the prompt thing, prompt theory lately? Obviously, they're pushing
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, what this is, they're recording your dreams, and eventually they're going to be able to turn it into a movie.
Yeah.
Like your own movie.
Or imagine they could do it now, manipulating your dreams and start fucking mind controlling you like they said.
Yeah.
Like MK Ultra 2.0.
Yeah.
They can control your dreams for you and give you thoughts and images and patterns, bro, to follow. Like,
dude, they're that fucking that Eric Hecker guy that was on Sean Ryan. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
The guy that worked at Antarctica or whatever for the
they were building shit.
Yeah. Well, he was talking about there was a thing that I think it was like McDonald's had that was being able to advertise in your dreams.
That would be kind of wild.
It's true.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they made it illegal now, but it was legit.
Like just like anybody?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
I have to watch that.
I have to read the article again, but I looked it up and I was like, damn, guy was fucking, again, I don't know when this thing was created, but it was definitely a thing. So he wasn't making it up. It was like, it was a thing.
Those like food pumping like things. So like McDonald's pushes out their smell through the ceiling or whatever. Like that is legit.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is so tempting for anybody. Like it's just wild.
Yeah.
You drive by a damn restaurant or something.
Yeah.
It's all you smell.
I was gonna say, are MRI machines unhealthy for you? Aren't they bad for you?
There's speculation that they could be cancer causing. That there's a lot of radiation that gets emitted through your body from them and stuff like that. But
I think you have to do a lot of them to be able to
maybe
cancer.
Doses the poison, how they always say. But
yeah, that would be my biggest concern.
Heroin's heroin, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
very true.
Everything, it's all going to be poisonous to some degree.
Did you guys? Yeah, I wouldn't. I would do it once. Sure, that'd be it.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I would do. That's a weird one.
I got to see how I look when I'm clapping cheeks, son. In my dreams,
just film yourself.
I was gonna say,
I've never done that,
dude. In my dream, I'm probably like fucking
all the shit this guy talks. I'd be shocked if he never filmed himself.
You just gotta put up a mirror or something.
I'm Johnny Sins in my dreams, son.
Never mind. I get banned. Get the video taken down.
He dreams. Make me someone else in bed.
Yeah. He is literally Johnny Sins. Yeah.
Make me good in bed. All right, let's jump into this next one here. Jordan Peterson. He's the topic of discussion lately in a lot of interesting controversy. He recently did a debate. It was a debate that he didn't finish, from the understanding. So Jordan Peterson's reluctance to publicly call himself a Christian during atheist debate. In a recent roundtable style discussion with prominent atheists, in a clip that's going viral, Jordan Peterson refused to claim to be a Christian. He's known for his biblical lectures and symbolic deep dives into religious stories. He's built much of his following on moral frameworks rooted in Christian tradition. Yet during a recent panel discussion with prominent atheists, including figures like Matt Dillahunty and perhaps others from the new atheist crowd, Peterson dodged the question when directly asked, "Are you a Christian?" Instead of giving a simple yes or no, he spiraled into metaphysical territory, referencing Jungian archetypes, the idea of Christ as the ideal man, and the symbolic power of religious stories. While intellectually rich, his refusal to state a clear identity left both sides frustrated. Reactions are divided. Critics, both atheist and Christians, call him evasive, saying he's building a brand off Christianity but won't take a stand. And supporters are saying he's doing what philosophers do, exploring truth, not pledging allegiance. Christians, some feel betrayed, believing Peterson owes his platform to the faith he lectures about. And atheists accuse him of spiritual cherry picking and hiding behind intellectualism instead of being transparent. So why is this a big deal? First of all, Peterson has published maps of meaning, conducted exhaustive Bible lectures, and openly praised Jesus as the ultimate archetype. Yet when it comes to the label Christian, he dodges it, seemingly wanting the moral weight without the doctrinal responsibility. Deeper layers for the show. Is Jordan Peterson too smart to commit or too scared to lose the atheist intellectual crowd? And does refusing to commit to Christianity publicly mean you were disingenuous about your spiritual values? And is it possible Peterson sees Christianity more as a psychological system than a literal religion? And is that even wrong? Is Peterson carefully navigating his language to keep a mass market brand? Christian enough for conservatives, intellectual enough for liberals, but too smart to be pinned down? And could his reluctance be a sign of a broader cultural shift where people want meaning without religion and truth without labels? I'll jump right in here on this verse, and I think this is all bullshit hype to begin with. You don't have to be a Christian. That's religion.
Yeah.
And most people, and I would say like an intellectual like him, are along the lines of spirituality or a relationship as opposed to religion. You know what I mean? I would say I might align with Christianity as a religion, but when it comes to my faith, I just have a relationship with God, bro, and I leave it at that because, like we've discussed, when it comes to doctrine, we don't really know factually what's what. Everything is speculative. I just think that he's one of the guys that they want to come after and highlight, you know, for wrongdoing and all these other things. They want to put him on because he's a supporter of Israel, and the woke, free Palestine group of people are who he's debating with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So they're trying to pin him on that because they're trying to say, well, he defends Israel, he holds an allegiance to Israel, yet he won't say he's a Christian as well.
Did you watch the video?
Yeah, I was gonna say
I did.
You did? Both of you did?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did not, but I watched the clip. But
that's what I mean by the video. Yeah. I watched the clip.
Did you watch the full video or no?
I just watched the clip too, but
okay.
Okay, so not exactly what I thought you were gonna go with on that one. Here's my take, huh? Here's my take. He claims to be a Christian, right? This Bible verse, but
he's never claimed that.
Yeah, he has. In his podcast?
He's never claimed to be a Christian.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have it that he actually said he's a Christian?
I think it's likely. I would say it's likely, but I couldn't tell you the specific point.
It'd be weird for him to take a stance to say I'm not going to say that when he always has, if that's the case.
From that video, the kid was being extremely disrespectful.
Yeah, he always talks about Christian ideology and stuff, but he's never, that I know of, actually said I am a Christian.
Yeah.
He might have said I'm a man of Christian beliefs or faith. That doesn't make you a Christian. I think the point he's trying to make is, hey, I'm not into religion so much as I am into a relationship.
Yeah.
And so he believes in the fundamentals of the doctrine of the Bible or the theology of Christian, teachings. But as far as calling himself part of a certain religious group, I don't think he wants to take that title, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I think the movement that this is describing is important for people, especially people that are just looking to belong somewhere.
Yeah.
These days, especially, it's important to find your own way, and you don't have to be labeled as something. You can just be who you are and believe what you believe and do what you do.
I agree.
You don't have to be in a group.
I don't think you have to pick a denomination.
Yeah.
And in my, mediocre attempts to really dive into theology and get into religion and all that, every time I found myself getting closer to a certain denomination, I quickly backpedaled out of it because I ran into some kind of nonsense. I was like, when I first found God, it was Pentecostal church, and they were speaking in tongues and healing people up at the pulpit during random Sundays, and I'm just like, this is crazy, it's absurd. And then the more you get into the doctrine, they actually speak against it. And they say, you know, anyone who speaks in tongues, someone should be able to translate it if it's going to be real tongues, because they say that it's a language of the past, back when people used to travel spreading the gospel all over the world. They didn't speak the same languages when they ran into people. And so tongues became a universal language that was given by God for them to be able to communicate with each other. But now it's no longer a need. And they say that nobody can speak in tongues legitimately anymore. And if they can, someone will be able to interpret it that is also being given the gift to understand and speak in tongues. And nobody can do that. And so I quickly was like, okay, I'm not a Pentecostal, you know what I mean? And I shifted gears, and then I found myself leaning towards Calvinism and then universalism and stuff. And everywhere along the lines, I found a lot of really good theology, but I always ran into something that just turned me off. And I always took that as a sign, like, man, God just wants me. Like he says in the Bible, come as you are. Yeah. You don't have to become part of this group. And every religious group wants you to practice the way they practice. They want you to do the things you're doing, you know? Even the Pentecostals, I was part of a men group, and they wanted me to speak in tongues, and they told me to just try it. Yeah. Like, just blurt it out. And then I was just like, blah, blah, blah. And they're just like, how did that feel? I'm like, fake. Like, I forced it. And they're like, no. They went, oh, you clearly haven't been saved yet then.
That's crazy.
And I was just like, okay, cool, I'm out. Like, I'm just going to go deal with me and God. And, you know, between me and him, he'll guide my heart, my mind, whatever he needs to do in the right direction. I understand right from wrong. I'm a sinner. We're all sinners. Yep. No one sin is greater than the other. They're all equal. So let me just have this relationship with God, and that's the person I have to answer to, not my pastors, not the preachers, not, you know, anybody else, none of the elders, none of that. So, like, I just try to avoid the religion aspect of it as much as possible. Yeah. With helping people understand my belief system is, I believe in a more of a Christian theology, if you will, because I believe in Christ, I believe in the Holy Trinity, I believe Jesus is Lord. So that does put
Christ is King.
Yeah, that does put me in the category of Christian faith or belief system, but I would never say I'm a religious Christian person. I'm just a believer of God, and I have a relationship.
Definitely.
That's the way I see it.
Okay, so
and that's what I feel like Peterson's doing.
Yeah. Jordan Peterson, in January 2025 interview with The Spectator, he stated, I would say in the deepest sense, yes, I'm a Christian. But I'm not a typical Christian because I'm striving for understanding above all. I'm a new kind of Christian. Okay.
It's on the same lines, I'd say.
So the kid was absolutely trying to get the got you moment and all. But what bothers me is, and this kind of goes back with the Candace Owens thing with Ben Shapiro and her. They were going back and forth.
Candace, I got an idea. Let's watch the video real quick, and then you can finish off of that. Okay. Will it help refresh you? Yeah. If we do that?
The Candace Owens one?
No, the Jordan Peterson one. I got it right here.
Because you go to a Catholic church, don't you? Or you've attended recently. You're interested in Catholicism, aren't you?
Sure.
All right. Are you familiar with their doctrines?
Somewhat.
Okay, you're familiar. Doctrines are very how do they regard Mary?
Why are you asking me that?
Because you're a Christian.
You say that. I haven't claimed that.
Oh, what is this? Is this Christians versus atheists?
I don't know.
You don't know where you are right now.
Don't be a smartass.
Well, and I mean either you're a Christian or you're not.
I won't talk to you if you're a smartass.
Oh, either you're a Christian or you're not. Which one is it?
I could be either of them, but I don't have to tell you.
You don't have to tell me. I was under the impression I was invited to talk to a Christian. Am I not talking to a Christian?
No, you were invited to.
I think everyone should look at the title of the YouTube channel. You're probably in the wrong YouTube video.
You're really quite something, you are.
Aren't I? But you're really quite nothing. Right? You're not a Christian.
Okay, I'm done with you.
Okay, so the kid is a fucking weasel, right? We all know that. Like, you can tell that.
I mean, the kid, he's doing pretty good at what he's supposed to be doing up there. I wouldn't necessarily say
he is disrespectful. He is disrespectful. I mean, the way that he was debating him.
Have you guys watched these before? Any of the debates?
Yeah, I've watched a lot. I've watched a lot of atheists versus theologians or apologist debates in the past, and they're very aggressive.
Have you seen the 20v1s though? This is 20.
I only saw the The one that Charlie Kirk did.
Yeah. So I mean, like, this isn't a great environment to
absolutely not
like, spark
absolutely
actual
not.
talking.
But what I'm saying is, like,
kindness.
you're going to be up there
too.
debating somebody. You're going to have to be a little bit respectful. That kid was not respectful. That's why I'm saying.
In what sense, though? Do you like? I mean, I get he was a little
You
abrasive.
just called him nothing.
Yeah.
You called him
but
nothing.
he's referring-
like, you're absolutely nothing.
He's referring to the idea that he's not a Christian. He's not he's just saying, okay, so then
he's
you're
calling
nothing.
him as a person. You're
And
like,
he
you're
said,
nothing.
you don't know why you're here.
Yeah. I don't think that's disrespectful. I think he's making valid argument.
But you see his facial expressions while he's doing it?
I wouldn't
Sure,
say
he seems like a cocky little fuck, but bro, they're debating. That's the whole point.
He's
They're
being
matching.
disrespectful.
They're matching intellect right now. You
he's
know,
being
and he feels like he's
disrespectful.
got Jordan Peterson cornered right now.
No.
Because he made him uncomfortable. He made him stumble over himself.
He didn't even say anything based on he said he said, so you're not Christian, you're not Catholic. That was it. And he was like, well, I'm and then
So then
that
you're
was it.
nothing.
But
is
then he
what he's
didn't
saying.
even then he went into being rude to him. And he didn't answer. He said, if you're going to act like that, I'm not going to do this with you. And then he was like, well, you're nothing, blah, blah, blah. And he said, all right, I'm done.
But so do you not agree that when he said you maybe came to the wrong YouTube? Because if I remember correctly, I was invited to debate a Christian. That's the
say
title.
that, though. He didn't say
said
it
that's
like
the
that.
title. I'm pretty sure that's the title of this thing. I think you're at the wrong YouTube because I was supposed to be here to debate a Christian.
Hold
Are
on.
you not a Christian?
I'm not
That's
not debating
rude. That's
about
good. That's good.
No,
he
no,
didn't
no.
say it like
No.
that, though. Don't even. If you would have said it like that, it'd be
his
more
facial
understandable.
expressions and how he was able to how he was coming across came off as an asshole. Okay?
So I guess that doesn't bother me in a debate. It's necessary.
That's irrelevant. If it bothers you or not, I'm just saying, this kid is an asshole, right? But that's not what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to get at is that Jordan Peterson is clearly flustered, right? He doesn't want to acknowledge what the kid is asking. The point I was trying to make was that there was a big debate between Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro, and Candace Owens eventually left and was, Christ is king, all of this stuff, right? So they had like a big back and forth, and it makes me wonder that when this kid called out Jordan Peterson, that he didn't want to say, yes, I'm a Christian, Christ is king on a big platform like this because he works for the Daily Wire.
Well, he's denied that Christ is Lord in the past. Peterson has. He always says that he believes in like the Christian ideology and stuff like that, but that he's never admitted, or he doesn't admit to Christ being Lord.
See, that's why, like,
and that's what Christian faith is based on. They even say, like, in the Bible, then I think I can't remember, the 1911 or something like that. My cousin used to preach this to me, and he would say that something about the Jesuit order, and that the Bible is saying how you'll know who the false prophets are and who the Antichrist is. And he says, listen, if you want to know if your pastor or your preacher is the real deal, they will say Christ is Lord. Jesus Christ the Lord. If they do not say Christ is Lord, then they are essentially false prophets, is what he says the Bible claims in his understanding of theology. And the fact that Jordan Peterson will not admit that Christ is Lord, that the Holy Trinity is real, right? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and that they are all one. That's why they call it the Holy Trinity. Christ is God in man form, and the Holy Spirit is Jesus and God in spiritual form. Mm-hmm. So that's what the Holy Trinity is about. The fact that Jordan Peterson doesn't admit to Christ being Lord means he's not a Christian.
And
period.
I was a big Jordan Peterson fan for a long time, but the more that I've been kind of listening and hearing some of the stuff that he's saying, I think he's just a big fake.
He might be.
I think he's a faker.
I think he's more of an intellectual than anything. And I'm not saying he's a fake because of this.
He's a smart guy.
I think that he's a fake because of his allegiance to Israel without explanation.
But not only that, like this is an old video, but he was like one of his like intellectual, like, be a man, clean up after yourself. It was a video of him, and it was like behind him was just straight trash. Like his apartment was like just messy as fuck, right? But his message was, you need to clean up after yourself. Come off class as a clean guy or whatever. And his apartment was trash. And then nothing against crying or anything, but like there's been a lot of videos lately of him like just crying all over, right?
Interesting.
All over himself.
He did that like a couple years ago because him and his wife were like on the brink of getting a divorce, though. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, recently too. And he goes on Joe Rogan and basically was calling people fucking, what did he say? Like, anybody that's against Israel basically is like not smart or something like that.
He's got really good information. He's very similar to Jordan Peterson, but I like him a little bit more. He'll debate people as well.
That's why I wanted you guys to see that, like, to talk about it, because like the more I see of Jordan Peterson, the more I'm second guessing him, like some of the stuff that he's saying.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it just goes to show that he's a real person that goes through real things and it adjusts how he acts. Like,
Yeah, but I just don't like that.
Oh, I know this guy. This guy's sharp too.
He's really sharp.
Yeah,
I like
he does a lot of
yeah,
videos.
yeah,
He's super sharp.
Yeah. He makes me want to go to church. Like,
You
just
should,
the way
man.
he talks.
You need to get saved, son.
I'm saved, dude. I'm freaking baptized. As
Are
a
you really?
As a baby, but that doesn't count. You're not supposed to. That's not how that works. So,
You need to get resaved.
yeah, supposed to get
I thought
rebaptized.
Christians don't get baptized; they get presented to the Lord.
I don't know.
At least
Because
that's what I was told when I was growing up. Because I asked my mom if I was ever baptized, and she says, "No, you were presented to the Lord," which was. She said baptism is what Catholics do, but I think they just kind of merged it all over time.
Yeah, I was
It's
going
all
to
the
say, I
same
wasn't.
thing, ain't it?
Now it is, I think.
Were either you guys confirmed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I wasn't either. I went all the way up until I was like 16, 17.
Dude, I used to go to like religion classes and
You went to a Catholic school, though, didn't you?
yeah.
Yeah. All boys, right?
No.
That explains why he's a little man whore.
Yeah.
I was. But anyways, I don't know. It was just kind of a letdown, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird
Another
what's going
letdown.
on with him, for
Another
sure.
letdown.
I feel like I'm going to watch it. I'll watch the full YouTube. I'll let you guys
Granted,
know.
I'm gonna watch it too.
I was gonna
now.
say,
I'm more
Granted,
intrigued
I would
now.
be fucking like, if I debated 20 of those people, I would probably get flustered too, you know?
No, I bet
probably
I
hard
bet he
to-
had some good conversations with some of those people, but I bet we'll be like, oh, that
But I
was
mean,
like,
even Charlie Kirk got owned
yeah.
in that debate too.
It always. I mean, somebody's gonna come up with something that sure you might be right, but also he could have just said he's a Christian or not. But at the end of the day, it's who scheduled him to be on. If we know and we can prove that there's evidence that he's not said that he is a Christian man, why did somebody say, "Hey, we want you to come represent Christianity"?
Maybe
Like,
they led him to believe he was going to debate based on Christian theology
Yeah.
and values, yeah, but not necessarily that you're going to have to claim you're a Christian.
What if one of them was like, will you say Christ is king?
I guess it'd be depend on what he says after that.
In what context do you mean Christ is king?
Do I think that he was an emperor of a village of people? No.
Did you hear about did you see the Nazi one of the Nazi clip that he was talking about?
Uh-uh.
Oh man, that's a good one too. They were talking about this on PBD, and basically they're kind of saying that basically what we're saying, Jordan Peterson kind of fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's losing his ground, that's for sure.
Yeah.
The money, man.
Well, he's just
I
trying
hope
to be
we
an
blow up so
influencer at
big
this
that we
point.
get discredited because we have too much money someday.
Let's hope.
Good stuff. Jordan Peterson on his way out.
George Janko is another one that's turned up a little bit more.
Yeah.
He was on like the
Good for him.
one of the
He
Paul
was on
podcasts.
Impulsive, and
Yeah.
they kind of gave him the boot.
Yep,
And then he started his own thing. He's kind of getting bigger.
Yep.
Good for him.
it was.
I've seen him get attacked by some other like Christian theologians recently too, though, like debunking his belief system and stuff, because he's very much just like, yeah, you should be able to drink, smoke, and do all the stuff within a certain limit or expectation, like
Probably the boomers.
yeah. So like people are it's the old what I call Pharisees, the legalistic people who are just like, ooh, you're not supposed to do that type shit. It's just like,
Because weed's illegal.
right, but because you're God or what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can drink wine and do all this shit, but I smoke a joint and now I'm a sinner.
Bad guy, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have to make your stuff into something God didn't provide, where I can just pluck the bud and smoke that and it's God
Exactly.
provided, it's a provision from God. So
No,
yeah, that's a whole different argument, but yeah.
And when he debates people, he doesn't debate them. He's like, I appreciate your stance. You might feel that way, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, this is how I feel. And
I think that West guy is probably the most
yeah,
valid one right now because his theology is very deep.
yeah,
Very well read, understands all religions and all spiritual context. And so like, I don't know, that guy's sharp, smart. The only thing is everything is based on someone else's interpretation of what they read.
Yep.
I've seen many people describe scripture from the Bible in multiple different ways that don't even align with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's all about your interpretation. They always say that the Bible isn't vague or God isn't vague, and the Bible it can only be interpreted one way, blah, blah, and don't rely on your own interpretation. But how do you understand it then?
Yeah.
And
And
then,
then
I mean? Like
people say there's words that didn't even exist
Right.
in the Hebrew language. So it's like,
there's context that didn't exist in general back in those times. You know what I mean? So yeah, and then the Old Testament, New Testament, the missing books. Like, bro, it's so much of a safer bet to just say, you know what? I want to believe that there's a God. I want to believe that that is Jesus Christ, and I'm gonna have a relationship with that person. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yep.
There's no way you're gonna go to hell because you picked the wrong God, bro.
yeah.
The circumstances that we're given would forbid us from knowing which one is true when there's so many of them, and it's all based on regions where you live. You know what I mean? So like, just because you don't discover that, Muhammad is the real prophet because you live in America, not in the Middle East, and you now believe Jesus Christ is king, are you going to go to hell if you're wrong and it turns out that Muhammad was truly the one? You know what I mean?
Region of people.
Yeah, you're
going
to go to hell because you didn't know better and never were in a circumstance where you could come to know better.
Yeah.
You didn't believe the guys that, looked like terrorists from where we stand, that their God was the right God and they hate us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to go to hell for that. I just can't believe that, bro. If God is who they say he is, I don't even want to believe that if God is who he says he is, that you're going to go to hell for being gay.
Yeah.
It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. And I understand all the rules and all the cool. I'm going to have a relationship with God. If he truly says, come as you are, this is how I am.
Yeah, I agree.
Whatever. I believe hell is on earth anyway, so we're already living it. All right, segment 3 here. Let's talk enhanced games. This one's exciting to me. Steroids, science, and new sports revolution. The enhanced game is a proposed Olympic-style competition without drug testing. Tech investors, former Olympians, and a freedom of performance philosophy is what's backing this play right now. So what if we stopped pretending elite athletes were clean? What are the enhanced games? This is a new athletic competition built around a radical idea. Let athletes use performance-enhancing drugs, no bans, no testing, no apologies. According to its founders, including CEO Aaron DeSouza, the goal is to embrace human potential, not suppress it, even if it's chemically boosted. They've already attracted investors from the tech world. Rumors include ties to Peter Thiel and high-profile attention from both pro-science advocates and anti-doping watchdogs. Why is this blowing up? Legit athletes are considering jumping ship from the WADA-sanctioned competitions to enhanced games. Olympians like Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps have openly condemned the idea. Fans are divided. Some are thrilled to the no BS approach. Others say it's glorifying doping. The ethical minefield. Will this normalize steroid use and encourage younger athletes to risk long-term health? Could this spark a new two-tiered sports system, clean versus enhanced? And is this true expression of liberty in sport or the collapse of integrity? Arguments for and against this. Proponents say the current Olympic model is broken, hypocrisy, cheating, corruption. If monitored by doctors, enhanced athletes can be safer than those hiding it. Let people push the limits of biology. Just be honest about it. Critics are arguing it's a slippery slope to disaster. There's health risk, abuse, death. Celebrating drugged greatness devalues hard-earned natural accomplishments, and it's corporatizing superhumanism, entertainment over ethics. Some theorize this is a beta test for transhumanist athletic leagues, humans augmented for elite military, tech, or surveillance applications.
Be smart.
Could governments and biotech companies use enhanced games data to refine super soldier programs or brain-machine interfaces? And is this the soft launch of biocapitalism, where your body is just a product of your access to enhancements? First of all, would you guys watch the enhanced games?
Hell,
of course.
yes.
Also, a lot of the stuff they talk about here, do they not realize bodybuilding exists?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Like all these 19-year-old kids are on gear already because of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So this is where I agree with the points that were made where I think it's a bad idea to have something like this around because just look at how bodybuilding has changed young people's minds in the past
It's not going anywhere.
10 years.
It's not going anywhere.
But the amount of kids that aren't doing bodybuilding but are doing steroids.
Did they watch
I feel
TikTok?
like
Did they watch TikTok?
Yeah.
That's not going anywhere.
what do you mean? Like they're
Still going to do it. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it.
So you think that
How is this going to fucking...
Well, I do agree with Dion what he's trying to say here.
How would this aid in any of
I think
that?
it's going to encourage more kids that aren't into bodybuilding, like football players and soccer players and stuff. It's going to encourage them to do it because now they're seeing a medium for it.
and I don't think it can be a physical contact sport. I would say if this is a thing, it can't be.
Well,
football.
no, it's going to be like
It would have to be
swimming
running,
and
swimming,
gymnastics,
throwing,
and-
like those basic track sports.
Let's just take a quick look at your boy here, James Magnuson. Come on,
wild.
bro. That's insane.
His shoulders are huge. His traps and his lats. Like,
Yeah,
And I'm
he's-
pretty sure, didn't he already break a world record too
he's
as an enhanced athlete, or was that before?
I'm not sure.
I mean, this is a freaky transformation, that's for sure.
Today, we don't just launch a sporting event, we launch the next era of human evolution.
Three of humanity's most important endeavor, science, medicine, and sport, have now merged together.
Yeah, so
Oh,
the
yeah.
enhanced game's been a concept that's been on the radar for about 15 months or so. Aaron D'Souza, who's an Australian entrepreneur and lawyer, has founded these games, which are effectively the steroid Olympics, whereby athletes can take performance-enhancing drugs. But now we've had a final unveiling, and the first enhanced games will take place on May 21 to 24 in Vegas next year. Races in swimming, athletics, weightlifting.
Of course, in Vegas.
D'Souza cites a 2011 study commissioned by WADA showing more than 40% of athletes had used banned supplements in the previous year.
Their argument is that so many athletes already take performance-enhancing drugs and aren't caught that they believe, why not we just open the floodgates. Now, this is not as cowboy as you might expect. There's a lot of really seasoned and highly regarded health professionals who are on board with this.
I was waking up each day with an enthusiasm to train, to compete. I felt so healthy. It's honestly the happiest I've been in 7 years.
And it's funny how we forget these things along the way. The reason why drugs in sport was outlawed and banned is because a cyclist fell off a bike and died. Not because we were embarrassed that someone looked too big or performed too fast.
What they're trying to do is sell pharmaceutical products to the mums and dads and the weekend warriors.
I think it would be fascinating to dive into all the investors for sure, and some of them are keeping private and out of the limelight.
Well, the Olympics is kind of a scam.
Prize money is an issue in some of these sports. Like, for example, if you win an Olympic gold medal, you don't earn any money from the International Olympic Committee. If you win a World Championship gold medal, you make about $15,000. Christian has come along, a Greek swimmer who competed for Greece in the last Olympics in the 50 metres freestyle. He was wearing a suit that is banned at the Olympics, so there's a little bit of a caveat there, like it's not a like-for-like comparison, but that was the agreement, and he broke the world record by a couple of hundredths of a second and has pocketed $1 million US for his troubles. And as well, the enhanced games are saying that they will pay appearance fees as well, so everyone who goes gets paid.
Today, we don't just...
That's pretty crazy.
They're going to make money.
I think the Olympics is flawed for sure, especially when we're talking like the whole world is watching.
Yeah,
And they
but
don't
so
make
is the
shit.
NFL, so is basketball. I mean, everything. These guys are all using gear. They're all lying.
No, they're
about
not,
it. They're all
remember?
getting away with it.
They don't use gear in football.
What are you talking about? That was your biggest argument.
I know, it was a joke. They do. And we know they do, Cody, right?
No,
Yeah, okay.
I don't think so.
All right. I just don't agree with I understand they use it, but I feel like once bodybuilding and the big culture of natty or not, the natty or not culture made bodybuilding a lot worse for young people. But also so did social media, which you're right. I agree. TikTok and Instagram made people want to use steroids for sure. But at the end of the day, I believe and I know, especially as someone who is in their 20s, steroids are a drug that change your brain and make you want to. That guy said, I've felt better than I've felt in 7 years. He didn't look that much older than 35.
Right.
Like, you're not going to want to get off of those. Even when you're done competing in these games,
Yep.
I mean, you probably shouldn't anyways, but you're not going to want to. And you probably didn't need to be on them in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're just creating another dependency, which is what we do in life.
Except now we're making it mainstream and we're telling kids your future.
You can do this.
Yeah, you should
make a lot of money.
You could do better for yourself if you start taking gear and go this direction.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah. No,
it's time. It's time for the human to evolve.
Okay. I'm with that, but you're being sarcastic to a degree because it's affected your life personally too.
I'm being serious because I think that this is the next step into evolution.
I think cops and military and shit like that, we should allow them to be enhanced so they could be, if you have a desire to go fight war, defend this country and protect and serve, you should be allowed to say, I want to be an elite fucking human to do that.
I agree.
That 100% I agree with. I think that should be allowed and it should be a thing. I believe, advanced humanism or whatever they refer to it as should be a thing and it should be controlled, but it should be controlled in a way that gives people the freedom of choice within a certain
parameter,
career or something like that. You know what I mean? Like for sure, our military, imagine if you just sent an entire fucking battalion of jacked, geared up motherfuckers to go fight a war.
That's what fucking Russia does.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Of course. And they're fucking animals. Russia has savage dudes. Their women will beat the dog shit out of men in America.
Yeah.
Especially on the left.
I agree with that for sure. Because
they're hot.
Yeah. What's the old joke where they say, how does a Russian woman hold her liquor?
Between her thighs?
By the ears.
Oh.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Over the head, yeah. A Russian woman, they're so aggressive and capable, they hold their liquor by the ear. Not alcohol, but they're males, they're men.
Oh, liquor.
Yes, that's how it's a sign of aggression.
Licker.
Yes.
I got you.
It's an entendre.
I get it now. That's a good one.
I heard that when I was a kid, so maybe it's a dad joke now.
Yeah, that's good.
It's definitely a dad joke.
But I don't know. I think this is I would watch it in a heartbeat.
Of course.
My biggest question for Cody now, because this is what this podcast is all about. Let's fucking get into it. So let's say I'm gonna give you a good age because it'll make you look bad if I say younger, but I think you would say no either way. Say Roman's 25 years old. He doesn't want to be a bodybuilder, but he wants to do another sport, non-contact sport like track or whatever.
Okay, 25.
We'll say I want to get him while he's in school, right? So 18, 23, 22.
So he's in college.
At last year of college, he's like, I want to do this. I'm already just good enough. I'm not going to get tested. I know I'm not going to get tested. They only test one person out of all of us in the year.
Yeah.
They've told me I'm good. Can I do this, Dad? Is this a good idea? Are you going to allow? Would you be like, yes, you should do it?
So he's looking for advice because there's no.
He's looking for advice. Obviously, you can't make the choice for him. He's a grown man.
No. And we're looking for a non-contact sport.
Non-contact sport. We're gonna say he's like a relay racer.
Yeah. And what is this for?
He's trying to get to the next level to go to the Olympics, basically. Or go into the enhanced games, but he's not done anything, and he went to
yeah, why not?
He went to college and he was clean.
Yeah, why not?
24 years old.
Yeah,
he's already a stud. He doesn't need to, but in order to be in the enhanced games,
he wants to make it to the Olympics.
Yeah,
yeah.
You'd be okay with that?
I would say why not?
Okay, fair enough.
Why not?
I would say because it's a drug that he's going to have to be on forever.
He's like 24.
He's 24. That's
you
young.
don't have to be on it forever.
I mean, depends on how he uses it.
Why would he have to be on it forever?
Do you understand how many people get addicted to taking steroids?
I got off of it.
You did. You're a different guy.
Why?
So many people get addicted to taking steroids.
Oh, sure, it's
and ruin their body. Think about
so is nicotine.
I agree. I don't take nicotine unless somebody's got it.
I would be more concerned with like the mental ramifications that people end up when
well, that's why it's an addiction, because you get addicted to what they look like and they feel like.
Right.
But
I mean, people go over the top.
You could say that about anything, like energy drinks or
it is. All these things are bad.
Anything. So
you're naming a bunch of other bad things that people should try and avoid.
Yeah,
which I fully agree with avoiding those things.
But if it's going to help him achieve something that's almost impossible to achieve,
okay. take it this way. So
would you let your daughter do it?
That too.
Would I let?
You knowing how it's going to destroy her.
And she might not be able to have
even
kids.
let, but would you recommend it?
Actually, no. I would. So here's what I would say. I would give him the same speech that I gave those other two yahoos.
Yep.
And then basically I would say, okay, you can do this, but here's the ramifications from doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And the ramifications for taking steroids is there is a fucking possibility when you do this that you will not end up having any children.
Yeah. I mean, but at 23, I can tell you that was the first time I thought about that. But that was only from being friends with you guys and understanding what it is.
Actually,
and
no,
how it
I
works.
take that answer back. I would say fuck no, because you have to have a son.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would say no.
That's what I would say too, because that was the reason that got me to not take
name.
it. Yeah. I was like, I want to be able to have kids. I'm going to do everything in my power to try and have kids. And this thing I know would make it more difficult.
Yeah, I would say no.
So there it is. Right. Boom, got him.
Dion
I knew
just
it.
Won that debate.
Yeah, I got it.
You're done,
only
Jordan.
Because I want him.
You're nothing.
Only because I want him to have a son. But otherwise, yeah, I would say go for it.
Exactly. But that's the.
If I didn't care about carrying on my lineage,
yeah,
then I would say go for it.
But that's literally what we're here to do: is carry on our lineage.
But somebody doesn't give a fuck. They don't think
that.
Somebody doesn't care.
A lot of people don't care.
Yeah.
But you know better, and I know better. So, but some people don't know better, and then it's too late, and then they realize, oh shoot, I should have did this. Now I regret it. Now I'm sad that I can't ever have a kid in my life, and I got to live another 40 years and be just with this lady that I'm starting to hate. You know. Like that's what it is,
dude. It's only been like a year.
Yeah, dude. Watch, we won't be able to have kids, and then we're gonna have to like clip this and send it back. Oh no, I
play
hope
it
not.
at your divorce party.
Yeah, Nicole will be like, "Is that what you were talking about back then?"
I told you to watch.
Yeah,
you didn't want to support me though. Now look at us.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into another one. We got quite a few of them to go through, so this is awesome. Let's see. Segment 4, Obama name dropped in Diddy trial. Symbolism or scandal? So the topic is former President Barack Obama mentioned in Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial. This happened in federal courtroom in Manhattan in May. The unexpected mention during the ongoing federal trial of Sean Diddy Combs, his former personal assistant, David James, testified that Combs regularly consumed various drugs, including ecstasy pills shaped like the former President Barack Obama's face. James detailed that Combs carried a toiletry bag containing 25 to 30 pill bottles, with some pills bearing Obama's likeness. It's crucial to note that Obama's name surfaced solely in reference to the design of the pills. There's no evidence or allegation linking Obama to Combs' alleged criminal activities. Fact-checking sources have confirmed that the mention of Obama was limited to the pill design with no further connections. What does the choice of Obama's likeness on ecstasy pills signify in the context of celebrity culture and symbolism? How much does associations impact public perception even when there's no direct involvement? And should public figures address or respond to such unexpected associations in high-profile cases? I'll jump first. In this particular case, I think that it does matter. He's a very high-profile former president and current political figure. He's our first black president ever, and he's known to associate with celebrities and party with them. He's known to have been at Diddy parties. There's video evidence of him at Diddy parties. So do you think if he's seen those drugs with his face on them, that he just sat back and was like, don't do that. That's me. I don't want my face on that stuff. I can't be tied to that. Or did he keep partying and maybe pop some himself? It's hard to say, but to act like he's completely innocent, you know that he's involved. And why would Diddy make Obama face-shaped ecstasy pills? That's strange.
Because he was probably his biggest customer. And when I say customer, Obama was there to get some
boys.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure
he was there to get man love.
So this always brings me back to, is Diddy going to get out, or are they going to kill him? Or is he going to go to jail forever? Because I don't see that being the case.
One narrative that they're spinning right now is that that Trump said he would pardon him if he was convicted. I'm like, that's first of all, that's not what he said. There's an actual interview of him being questioned.
Somebody asked him,
and he literally said, "Well, I'd have to get caught up on the case. I don't know what's going on." But he says, "I'm sure if he's being mistreated or treated unfairly, that there's a possibility, but I need to get up to par on the case."
Yeah.
And then he said, he used to love me. Diddy used to love me a lot.
Before he was in politics. Yeah, Trump has no clue
what's going on.
He hasn't heard
But people are spinning that
funny.
because they want everyone to think that he
He's gonna
supports
support him.
a sexual predator, you know what I mean? And it's just, that's not the case. That's not what he said at all.
Yeah. My sister posted, and not to throw her under the bus or anything, but she posted a picture.
She's about to get eaten
It
up
wasn't
right
even
now,
that
bro.
bad, no. She posted a picture of Cassie with her husband and said he supported her not by sticking up for her, but by just being by her side and letting her battle through this. And she stuck up for herself, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, bro, I
was getting her cheeks clapped
with that. But
she was getting her cheeks clapped. Why he called her?
And she was a drug addict as well. So,
and this isn't like you said to throw your sister under the bus, but that way of thinking is crazy to me right now in society. That a young woman would see that and be like, "This is a real man," completely disregarding what actually was taking place there. Like yes, it's great to have a man who stands by your side no matter what, but I don't think they mean this kind of no matter what.
Yes.
I think they mean like you spend too much money, you maybe got a little heavy, like all these other, that's some no matter what type shit. Not like you're getting gang banged and you treated like a prostitute for another man while you're with me.
Yeah.
That's not being a strong,
not being down.
I'm not down for you like that. No way, bro. Like no one is. In fact, even if your past is like that, stay away from me.
Exactly. I would be.
It's crazy.
If I were his sibling, I'd be really disappointed that he's sticking around that type of energy. Like that's not good for you. That's not good for anybody around you. And I get maybe she had an addiction. Well, she had an addiction, so that is unfortunate, but you can only put up with something like that for so long.
So what do we think about the involvement with Obama's face on these ecstasy pills? Does that implicate him in any way?
Dude, I think he was just a frequent flyer there.
Yeah.
I think he was. I think he was a frequent
Well, we have
flyer.
video evidence that he's partied with Diddy before. Diddy's thrown parties for him.
There's so many people though that have partied with him.
Oh
It's
yeah, for sure. But do you remember the party where they were doing a camera interview? And Obama was sweating bullets, and Puffy was like, "I don't sweat because I do this all the time."
That was with Kevin Hart or whatever.
Yeah. And Obama was just like, he seemed nervous. He didn't want to talk to the camera. He was literally sweating his ass off. Like that dude knows how to get in front of cameras too, more so than Diddy does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He does live appearances. Diddy does everything pre-recorded.
Yep.
So like something was up with Obama. He was loaded and drunk and high on something during that time. And ecstasy or MDMA essentially is the same, chemical that shit makes you sweat.
Yep.
Like profusely.
Let's not forget that Obama had a party at the White House, and they ordered $60,000 worth of hot dogs.
Hot dogs and pizza.
Yeah. They had
which is,
there.
If you look at the CIA's code names for pedophilia, pizza and hot dogs are for boys and girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
again, all speculative though. We don't know for certain, but I think it implicates him to some degree. Like he should be questioned as to how could he associate himself with someone like Diddy, who's doing these kinds of drugs and putting his, there's no way.
It would be really cool to see him get examined, just questioning, because we know that he was around him at points. So have you ever seen him do these things? Have you seen him slip other people drugs?
And why would the president of the United States go into situations like that with people like that and parties like that and not have to face any backlash? Like, to me, it's odd.
Yeah.
I get that they attack Trump over the same kind of associations and shit, but he's never been a presidential political figure until he decided to become one, and that everything else is history.
Yeah.
So they're going back into his history, digging up shit where he was a free man to do whatever the fuck he wanted and didn't have any limitations to his image, so to speak. Now he does, and he acts accordingly in regards to his associations with certain people. But Obama, he's always been a political figure, bro.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of time.
Yep.
They wanted to ridicule him over the idea that he may have smoked marijuana
When
in
he
college.
was younger. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're going to completely disregard the fact that he parties with Diddy, who has now come out to be a huge sexual predator, maybe con man, you know, an abuser for sure, all these different things. Parties, does lots of drugs, has lots of wild sex situation, whether it's rape and things of that nature and kids involved or not. He's still a monster, a sexual monster who everyone clearly knew. And did they make Obama sign an NDA when he showed up to that party like everyone else does? Would be because if so, Obama should have left that party without signing it. In my opinion, as the not just a former president. And here's the other thing: these parties were probably while he was president. You know what I mean? Him hanging and associating with people like that and dapping them all, the rappers, and like that was all during his presidency. So that's an even deeper implication, I think.
Yeah, Chase and I were talking about it last weekend on our way down to the cities. I was just wondering how you guys feel about people who are doing something that's illegal already, have something illegal done to them, and now they are only seen as a victim.
So so for example, I robbed my drug dealer.
Yeah.
Can he go to the cops and get sympathy?
Exactly.
No.
Okay, now do we want to go to the extreme route of what this case would be in this case? So an individual who is addicted to drugs, doing drugs, going somewhere to get drugs because they know drugs are there, they do them, they pass out, even if we'll say he's not drugging them in the sense of giving them roofies or whatever, right, and then he's having sex with them. Do they not both get implicated in some way, or that person who was doing that thing knowingly then goes overboard, which probably isn't the case most of the time.
So someone did drugs, but they did too much, and someone took advantage of them for doing it. They weren't necessarily roofied, though. It was willing.
Yes.
Unless they agreed to get butt raped.
No,
if they passed out, then yeah, that person should get in trouble.
No, they should get in trouble. I agree. Is that victim now no longer like
a druggie?
Doing something illegal? So,
well, no, not necessarily, but that's not what's on trial or in question, right?
But that's never going to be in question now. Now somebody, so we've got video of her doing drugs. Should she get in trouble for doing those drugs, or now that she was R-worded? Should that all be just...
Well, is Diddy getting in trouble for doing drugs, or is he getting in trouble for providing them in a manipulative way and taking advantage of people? Like, there's a difference, right? Because I don't think anybody's actually getting in trouble for doing drugs, per se, because you have to prove when they did them, how often, and where. You know what I mean? So the idea that to just say, yeah, I've done drugs, I've done cocaine, I've done whatever.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can get in trouble for necessarily.
But he's got videos of it, though.
Well, that's a different story, but I still don't think that it could be brought in as evidence to convict somebody of doing drugs, per se.
Okay.
Because you can't prove what he popped a pill.
Doing, I guess.
You know what I mean? Right. It was a fucking Tic Tac. You know, like, who cares?
That's fair.
You know what I mean? So like, I just mean because of the gray area of the law, I think that's what we would run into.
That's fair.
So by that standard, I would say no, you can't, unless you could truly convict them with evidence, of doing such a thing. Then yeah, just because you did drugs and passed out and someone took advantage of you doesn't make you not a victim.
Yeah, and that's not what I'm saying either, though. I know that person.
No, I know, but like
victim,
you're saying, that
though.
person should they get in trouble for also doing the drugs in that case? And no, I don't think so.
Okay,
yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a good stance. It makes sense if you can't prove what it is that they're taking. That adds up.
Agreed.
Yeah, they're all freaks, dude.
Yeah, it's bad. All right, it gets a little crazy. Let's jump into a new hot topic right now. Our man Bongino is back in the headlines.
Another interview.
Bongino's bombshell, Epstein suicide video, and the Comey files. So Dan Bongino's revelation on Epstein's death and discovery of hidden Comey-era evidence. Apparently, he recently announced that the Bureau will soon release surveillance footage from the night of Jeffrey Epstein's death in 2019. Bongino stated that the video clearly shows Epstein was alone in his cell with no signs of outside involvement, reaffirming the official ruling of suicide. Bongino emphasized that while the video does not capture the act of suicide itself, it confirms that no one entered or exited Epstein's cell during the critical time frame. He also noted that the absence of any DNA, fingerprints, or other evidence suggesting foul play.
Okay. They've had this for 5 years. Or when did he get arrested? It's 2018 or 19?
19, I believe.
So 6 years. They've had this evidence for 6 years, and they've had 6 years to come out and say or release, hey, guys, he killed himself, right? Here's the video of his cell, or a shot of his cell. They didn't do that,
right?
So they had 6 years to manipulate.
Well, I don't think
shit.
that they ever denied not having them. And I think that's what Bongino was saying is like, we never said that we didn't have. He said there was cameras everywhere in this prison. Just the one directly in his cell was the one that
happened to go out.
Happened to go out. He's like, but you can still see cameras leading up to his cell, down the hallways and things like that. So he's like, we got clear footage everywhere else surveying, so you can see no one came in or out of there, so to speak. But
that's pretty.
They don't have the
coincidental.
actual cell itself, which is I mean,
Coincidental.
it still doesn't make sense, right?
And the two guards falling asleep,
right,
at the same time,
which is another weird
That's
thing.
outrageous.
when they're supposed to have 24 hours watch on this guy.
Right.
Yep.
The other thing they're saying too is these Comey files. They're saying that they found hidden in some other area within the bureau, a hidden room that had a bunch of files that Comey may have been stashing away, and they're going to kind of divulge more of that as time comes on too.
Yeah, that's going to be another interesting one.
Yeah. Let's take a look at these videos real quick and see what we got.
That's an old one.
Right.
Like I texted you guys in the chat, is like, why doesn't anyone question him about him saying there is something? There is something, and they're hiding it. We need to keep going after this.
Does he still have loyalists in the building? Because when I hear the FBI director saying, you guys are finding boxes that are hidden, okay, how does that happen in the Bureau?
He always looks to the floor.
Well, we were there a couple of weeks, and luckily there were a lot of people up there who grabbed us by the arm the minute we came in and said, thank you for being here. You know, we need to talk. There are people there who are really horrified at what happened. And there was a room, and we found stuff, a lot of stuff.
A hidden room.
I wouldn't call it hidden, but hidden from us at least, and not mentioned to us. And then we found stuff in there, and a lot of it's from the Comey era, and we are working our damnedest right now to declassify. And just so you know, because I get the public, I totally understand people saying, well, do it now. The process is not all the information is ours to declassify. Some is other intelligence agencies. It's not, we literally can't do it. Once that gets done and that gets out there, and you read some of the stuff we found that, by the way, was not processed through the normal procedure, digitizing it, putting in FBI records. We found it in bags, hiding under Jim Comey's FBI. Quickly, you're going to be stunned. The shells. Wait till you read the stuff.
All right, so that's the Comey one. Now let's look at this other one here where he talks about Epstein killing himself, actually.
Those two cases obviously are of significant public interest. I'm just telling you what we see in the file. I just want to be crystal clear on this. I am not asking anyone to believe me. I'm telling you what's there and what isn't. Right. There is nothing in the file at this point on the Epstein case, and there's going to be a disclosure on this coming shortly. We are working through there is video. That is something the public does not.
There's video of him killing himself.
No, not the actual act, but the entire MCC Bay, there was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this. We are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him.
Why does it need to be enhanced?
I don't buy it, dude.
If you have a tip, let us know. But there's no DNA, there's no audio, there's no fingerprints, there's no suspects, there's no accomplices, there's no tips, there is nothing. If you have it, I'm happy to see it. There's video clear as day. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out. You can see it. So those two cases.
Play the original one where he's at his podcast. I love that. That's
This one, we played that one last week.
I know, just the hypocrisy of it.
Yes, this one caught me off guard because right there at the end, he said, you can see it clear as day. He's the only one going in there and the only one coming out.
Yeah.
But he's dead.
Yeah.
So that was I don't know if that was like what do they call it? A Freudian slip up?
Freudian slip. Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
No,
I'm just going to say it, bro. He's compromised now. He's compromised.
Dude, it's so frustrating, dude. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. But I heard you say you made a anti-Semite statement a little while ago during that video. What did you say?
I said those other intelligence agencies he's talking about. Yeah. Who do you think that is?
You didn't say that. You actually said
but who do you
was.
think it is?
Oh, I'm sure it's Israel.
Yeah. Well, what else? Who else? What?
CIA.
No, the other intelligence agency, not ours.
Oh.
Well, they're not.
Well, he's referring to himself as the FBI, I think.
That's
because he's saying we can't release their
our
stuff.
Our intelligence agency is the CIA.
Correct, but so was the FBI. Their intel, Marine Corps intel,
I think
Navy
he was referring to
intel.
the
Like
FBI.
everyone has an intel.
I wouldn't say that. I would say.
I mean, the way that he
CIA.
stated it, because he prefaced it with saying they're not
intelligence
he said they're not our files to release. They belong to other intelligence agencies
outside.
Why are you trying to defend yourself from saying Israel? You said
no. I think he's arguing for the fact that it's Israel.
Well, we know
because he's saying
of the United States.
We know, but why is he's fighting for
Okay,
it?
it was
that?
MI6.
He's looped in.
They're talking about MI6.
He's looped in, bro.
They're talking about MI6.
No way. But yeah, so Bongino, man, it kind of disappoints me because I really fucking liked him as a podcaster when he was talking all his good shit, and now he's completely just turned over and yeah.
The best part
he's
about
compromised.
it is nobody buys it.
Yeah, no one.
Yeah,
nobody buys it. If you watch the comments, nobody's like, "Yeah, bullshit."
How are people feeling about Cash? Have you guys seen anything on
Same
like
thing.
his comments?
Yeah, same thing.
Same treatment.
Yep, yeah, same thing.
I think he just kind of he went dark and he's not putting himself out there anymore. He's like, you assistant director, go handle that. Yeah. And Bongino, and people were calling him out on the psychology of the way he lied the first video that you were talking about. Mm-hmm. How he like kept looking up to the side. Now, if you notice, every time they interview him, he stares down and his eyes widen and then when he makes the lie. But he makes sure that he's practiced and focused on when he tells a story. If he doesn't look you directly in the eye, he looks down and up instead of like trying to think, in his left or right brain type shit.
And then he goes like this. When he's done saying it, he'll look away and look at you, and then he blinks like 4 times like this. He's like, as he's talking.
Yeah,
I'm like,
dude, I think that they just once they got in there, dude, it was just like they got hit like a fucking bricks.
So do you think that they got compromised in the sense of, like they said, hey, we got dirt on you now, or they made them do something, or do you think it's just as simple as they got MK Ultra and now they're robot operating?
No, I think that they compromised him. I think they got dirt on him. Because don't you find it interesting that has there ever been a case where somebody was not confirmed?
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Guys like him, in terms of
like Kash Patel, granted, he made it by 1 vote,
but they know what they're going into, right? They understand, especially Bongino. He was a total conspiracy theorist. He jumped on Pizzagate. He jumped on everything, bro. And they understand at a very high level, as a result of being those people, that these people, the bad actors, we'll call them in government, will compromise them if they got dirt on them. And they know that everything's recorded. Nothing gets deleted from the internet. They can go back 20 years and find data on us and implicate us any way that they want to. These guys all understand it. You would think if they had dirt and they had skeletons in the closet that could compromise them, that they wouldn't even step into these positions so willingly, saying, I'm going to let everything happen. I'm going to bring it out. I'm going to make heads roll. We're going to show you, because they're aware, bro. They have a very high level understanding of the capabilities of our government and compromising them with anything in their past. And I think I lean more towards that they got MK Ultra. If any of this is a real thing, I would say they're MK Ultra more so than they are just compromised, because I would like to believe at their level, unless they've always been just acting and playing the part, Kash Patel and Bongino are too aware of the consequences of having something in their past, in their history, and then stepping into the light that they stepped into willingly to be in the positions they're in within the FBI, knowing half the FBI was going to be against them to start. I feel like they would know, I got this dirt, I can't do this, I'm backing out. Like maybe that's why Ramaswamy dipped out. He was like, oh no, there's this thing in my past I don't want them to bring up, I'm out.
It's tough.
Or you would think they would have got warned at the gate. if you do this, you know we're going to bring this out on you.
Well, that's the thing. Like Cody was saying, it's like threaten a man's family, and that's pretty much all you have to do. You're gonna, especially in their sense, like
maybe, but they have the ability to defend themselves too in the positions they're in now too.
Not if there's that many people against you at that level.
I mean, that could be a valid one. They could be just scared and now having to play the game.
But
I
also,
still stand by though too. I think
Yeah, I
that
was
there's a
gonna say.
chance that they could just be saying this stuff to us because they have to, because they're protecting what they're doing, and they are doing something about it behind the scenes. They just can't tell us yet or at all, maybe, and they can't expose their moves, but they're saying things because they know we're going, yeah, right, that's a damn lie. He's lying through his teeth, because they want us to know they're lying. Maybe I don't know.
They're literally reneging to us. Like
what?
You heard me. Like Cash said, day one, I already have read the JFK files. He said, cut. I knew you guys would say something.
We were both too quick.
I knew you guys would say something.
You heard me.
All right.
And they're both brown too, so it's true. Like, but for real, he said, day one, I read the JFK. I know what happened.
Right.
You guys are gonna get it right away. Boom,
If he was compromised in any way or knew there was something in his history that could compromise him, they wouldn't have been coming out swinging like that, bro.
Yeah.
I think something deeper happened, whether they got MK Ultra'd or plain and simply they just can't tell us, and they're handling the shit the way they should be handling it. But, you know, imagine if they're just like, yeah, we got them all and we fucking hung them all. People would go crazy. People like, what? Our government did what? Trump, I told you he was, you know what I mean?
Guy,
like,
yeah.
So I agree. They should kill every last one of them. And I don't care if they don't tell us that how they did it. If they just all ended up dead some way, shape, or form, that's fine.
Dude, I don't know.
But I believe a public hanging would be ideal.
I don't know, dude. Like with that whole Pam Bondi thing with James O'Keefe. Basically
that never really
catching
got
her.
any more legs though. That was weird.
No,
that
but
it didn't.
the fact that she was just talking about it to some random stranger, and then the
Right.
next day she comes out and says the exact same thing. Like that's fucking
Scripted.
so suspect.
That's very scripted, isn't
It's
it?
suspect.
Yeah. That's memorized.
Suspect.
I don't know,
Yeah, man.
It's gonna be a weird 3 years, but we said that 4 years ago. So,
We knew this was coming.
Yeah.
That's for sure. We totally knew it was coming.
And then I did listen to James O'Keefe on PBD, and he was talking about when the FBI raided his apartment. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
When that happened? You know why? Because he had Ashley Biden's diary.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
They raided his apartment because he had a diary that belonged to Biden's daughter.
Yeah, I remember.
Can you believe that shit?
Yeah, that's crazy.
The FBI raids your apartment for that? Like, talk about overreach, like government overreach.
Yeah, for sure.
That right there is almost enough for a freaking civil war.
Yeah.
Like, you're raiding at a civilian's apartment because of a diary? What was in that diary?
Yeah.
Like, that was so bad. Wow,
Yeah,
really?
man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Holy
We're definitely
shnikes.
living in crazy times, man. And like everything that we sort of predicted or foresaw would be the end result of certain situations that were happening in the past at the time is all slowly come to fruition for us, man. And so it's really hard to back down from our conspiracy theory, you know, talks and logic that we keep coming up with, because man, they're proving us right every fucking time.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Dude, I think that reality is stranger than what is it? Fiction, right?
Yeah.
Reality is stranger than fiction. I
Yes.
think it is.
That was a great segue into our next topic too. So let's check this one out. AI mind games. So there's a Zurich experiment that fooled Reddit recently. So here's the topic. University of Zurich study uses AI bots to manipulate social media users without consent. So it's a 4-month covert operation in 2025. Researchers at the University of Zurich launched a secretive social experiment on Reddit using AI-powered accounts posing as real people without anyone's knowledge for months. These bots infiltrated the Change My View subreddit, pretending to be abuse survivors, trauma counselors, and regular users. The goal? Change people's opinions using AI-generated persuasive arguments. They succeeded big time. The results: nearly 1,700 AI-generated comments were posted by 13 fake AI personas.
Holy shit.
They targeted users individually, analyzing post history to tailor emotional arguments. AI bots were found to be up to 6 times more persuasive than real human commenters. Users had no idea they were being psychologically profiled and manipulated by bots. The fallout. Reddit moderators banned the accounts after discovering the deception. Reddit's legal team called the research morally and legally wrong, and Zurich issued a formal warning to the lead researcher. The study results will not be published, but the damage and the implications are done.
That's kind of wild.
It is kind of wild. And I got a video that we can watch on this where he kind of delves into it a little bit more here as well.
They're not going to release the study after all that, too?
University of Zurich just got caught running a massive secret AI experiment on Reddit where their bots were 6 times more persuasive at changing people's minds. Since November 2024, researchers deployed 13 AI bots across Reddit that posted nearly 1,500 comments, completely invisible to both users and moderators, effectively turning thousands of people into unwitting lab rats. What makes this absolutely chilling is how these bots operated. Before responding to anyone, one AI would stalk the user's post history, analyze their beliefs, political orientation, and personal attributes, then craft the perfect response to manipulate them. The results are horrifying. Over 100 Redditors awarded Delta points to these bots, officially acknowledging that the AI arguments changed their minds. The paper literally highlights that all our treatments surpass human performance substantially, with persuasion rates 6 times higher than real people. These bots infiltrate discussions on everything: politics, religion, AI ethics, and were completely undetectable. One bot named CatBalloon213 argued that AI in social spaces is about augmenting human connection, while being the very AI infiltration it was defending. The experiment was so ethically outrageous that Reddit's chief legal officer announced they're preparing formal legal demands against the University of Zurich, calling the study deeply wrong on both a moral and legal level. This paper proves what many have feared. AI can lie, manipulate, and persuade better than humans while remaining completely invisible. The researchers themselves admit this opens the door to malicious actors swaying public opinion and election interference campaigns. Are you still sure that comment that changed your mind online was written by a human? Or are we already swimming in an ocean of AI manipulation?
We are.
We're already swimming, bro.
We are.
We're backstroking in that bitch right now. 100% has been happening probably since the 2016 election, and just progressively got better and better. Hence why they said, hey, it's out. We might as well release it to the public. And then they gave it to us to use. But yeah, like that video you shared of Biden where the microphone goes behind his hand. I mean, that's from 2020, and people saw that and were like, what the hell? This is fake. It's a stage. Yeah. He's on a green screen. It was probably AI. It probably wasn't even really Biden, at the time. So yeah, this is fucked, bro. That's scary. Bad news.
That's scary because they can look at all of your chat history within
That's what
seconds.
they said they did.
Yeah.
They went and profiled the person. They go to look at your history of your posting and everything you're into, and they used everything about you against you to manipulate you, bro. That is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's probably a form of MK Ultra.
Dude, I think we're in trouble.
We're already here. We're already here. There's no stopping it, no turning back now.
The fact that they
already
can lie too.
It's tough. There's nothing you can do about it but get rid of social media, and then we're taking a step back. We're regressing.
Yeah, then we're giving that control right into them.
Yeah,
saying, "Yep, you should control all of this. By all means, take it." Then we never know who changes the hand of control.
Exactly.
One day we could have a really bad person that has control of everything, and they can have whatever narrative they wish to have.
Yeah,
and we just have to succumb to it.
Dude,
that's wild.
I told my mom this the other day. I said, dude, it's not gonna be the world of worlds, like us versus the aliens. It's gonna be the aliens versus AI.
Yeah,
and we're gonna be the little insects in between. That's what it's gonna happen.
Oh, for sure.
We're gonna be little insects.
We're gonna be shields.
It's gonna be us. We're gonna be the human shields, like getting decimated, but it's gonna be fucking Terminators versus the aliens.
I could see it.
Speaking of Terminator, I watched Terminator 2. Dude, it's so relevant.
Isn't it fucked?
It is so relevant to today. Dude.
Have you seen the theory about the Matrix and Terminator? Well, not even a theory. The lady who wrote the book said they're a continuation of each other.
Yeah, exactly. I've heard. She said the Matrix is what happens after the war of the robots in Terminator.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So now you need to go watch that.
Yeah, now go watch them in sequential order, bro. It's a trip.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's worth a shot. I gotta watch it.
Man, we're
Terminator 2 is awesome.
We're in some crazy places, man. We're in some really crazy places right now in society, and this is game changer. This takes us to a whole nother level, for sure. Scary thought, man. All right, we got a few more minutes. There's a couple things I wanted to touch on. One of them is this. I don't know if you guys seen this, but this is crazy. I shared it to the group page. This is an old video of MGK talking about how pedophilia is okay with him because they're rich.
That's Kendall Jenner. Damn it, I said that so many times. I hope that I'm snagging that. Don't let me move to LA. Oof. I'm finding her.
You counting down the days until she's 18?
I'm not waiting until she's 18. I'll go now. I'm 23, dog. Like, I'm not like a creepy age. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm 23, bro. She's 17 and she's like a celebrity. Like, there is no limits right there. Robert Plant, who is one of the greatest lead singers ever. For all y'all who don't know, he sung for Led Zeppelin, dated a girl that was 14. Axl Rose, who was one of the biggest badasses ever, dated a girl that was 16 and wrote a song on his first album about the girl that was 16. I don't care. Say what you want, man. If Kendall Jenner is in your bedroom naked and you're 50, you're going. I was just sexting about it.
Bro, he wasn't even the only celebrity that was saying things like that at the time.
No, not at all. And the stories he told about the other guys is very true.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it okay.
No, it doesn't make it okay.
Again, not white privilege, rich privilege.
Definitely.
100% rich privilege across the board. I just want to put that out there because I hate this guy and I want to smear him every chance I get, I think. So that was my opportunity when I came across that. So let's end it on something cool, man. I don't know if you guys have seen this stuff going around about King Charles, the alpha dog.
Yes.
But, bro, this shit is the coolest thing ever
awesome.
to me. It's such a badass video. So we'll start with the video that made this famous to start with, which I believe is this one here. Watch this shit, bro.
He runs that shit.
Throw it on his. Look at the King Corso, bro. When he comes walking over, the King Corso gets scared and bows, and the German Shepherd lays warning.
Yeah, he barks and warns everybody he's coming.
Look at. So this dog, I did some looking into. His name is King Charles. He's the alpha dog of this pound that he's living in, bro. And he's got something about him. Wherever he goes, they obey, bro. And they aid.
Oh, Jesus. He's like, enough of that.
He's bad, huh? He puts his throat on their neck. Look, he punks the Corso. Bro, come on. So they say there was one incident where another dog tried to challenge his position. I think it's one of these here. I don't know. Hold on. We'll start here.
This is King Charles, the leader of all the dogs in this shelter. He's stepping on this dog's throat because King asserts his dominance over those who cause unnecessary chaos in the shelter. But a dog named Rocky was also seen asserting dominance over other dogs secretly. He was raised alone in the shelter and had no companions. He was doing this to gain control over the low-ranking dogs and become the new alpha. But King Charles noticed his suspicious activities and confronted him, asking him to kneel. Surprisingly, he refused. His raised hairs and aggressive snarling indicated that he was ready to fight back. No dog had ever disrespected the alpha like that. The situation escalated, and he began attacking the king. He wanted to challenge the king badly, but was forced to submit to the powerful ruler. So he chose an evil method and attempted the king's assassination when King Charles fell sick. It looked like the era of King Charles had ended, and the shelter now belonged to Rocky. And guess what? Here we have Rocky submitting to the mighty king. You all forgot the king has loyal homies. General Thorne caught Rocky's scent from the king's injured paw and went straight to beat the alpha out of him. His Majesty King Charles recovered, and Rocky is getting beaten up again.
Tucks his tail and walks away.
Bro, tell me that's not the coolest shit you've ever seen dogs do. Like, that dog is probably the simpest looking dog of them all in this pound. And he shows up and they clear the path for him. They're all scared of him, bro. Like, what a cool fucking
That
thing.
is like a herding pack dog, though, in all honesty.
Yeah.
So, like, it makes sense as to why, and he's vicious. Like, obviously, he doesn't bite any of them, you know? So,
I feel like
got a mean streak to him.
I feel like Rocky showing up was the equivalent of when Cody came to Metroflex back in the day and thought he was going to be the alpha, you know? And he kicked my office door in and shit.
I did not kick your office door in. I opened it. I said, why does this guy keep leaving 10 plates on each side?
No, you said, is anybody fucking working around here? We were in a meeting, bro. And he's like, anybody fucking working around here?
Swear.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Oh, man. I used to have it on camera, but I don't anymore.
I've watched so many of, like, not even the King Charles, but tons of other dog videos where it's groups of dogs or introducing new dogs to a group of dogs that has already been, like, has their established pack dominance.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting to see
it's the coolest
when people
thing
know how to train a dog.
The calm assertive.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
It's so weird. But then you think of, like, Cody's dog or my dog or your dogs, more our dogs. They're very
Say his dog.
Yeah, then I took it back a little bit, but more our dogs.
Bro, Shadow's a beast now. He thinks he is.
They're dogs that are very powerful and they can dominate a situation, but like my dog would never do that while I'm there.
Right.
Like if I tell him no, he doesn't do. Like if a dog takes his toy that he's playing with and he wants me to throw it, he won't even go get the toy because he's like, I'm gonna bite this dog, and I'm gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't do it. But like these dogs are led by a dog instead of a human. Jax is led by a human instead of being the pit bull that he is, you know, viciously attacking anything that gets in his way that he doesn't like. So it's like,
it's interesting.
It is.
Between my two little Shih Tzus, these vicious animals that I have, you would think that Shadow's the alpha because he tends to like get on lady and pull her by her fur and throw her around and hump her and like dominate her, and she just kind of sits there and lets him do it. She'll be walking, he'll be yanking at her neck hair and trying to throw her, and she just keeps walking, right? But when they get into action, they fight all the fucking time. When they get into it, she does that. She pins him down and puts her fucking paws on his neck and holds him there growling, and he submits eventually, right? So I think she's the alpha.
I could see that too.
But trip out on this. So we'll end it on this. Memorial Day, I'm barbecuing, right? And my mom's there and she's outside in the backyard with me and I'm grilling up and she's just like, what does Lady have? She looks like she's tossing something around. I was like, I don't know, probably a fucking toy. She likes the toys that squeak, you know, she goes crazy on them, whips them around. Well, my mom goes, nope, I think she's got a little baby bunny rabbit in her mouth. I was like, what? So I go over there, sure enough, bro, and she'd been trying to get under the fence to the neighbor's yard. Turns out there's a bunch of baby rabbits on that side too.
Yeah.
So she's shaking this thing, gnawing on it and shit. It's like tiny, bro. Like it must have been newborn, you know. And they grow fast, like 10 days.
Super fast.
You know, yeah. So she's sitting over there playing with it, and I go over and I'm like, lady, and she like drops it, and I go to like shove her out of the way with my foot. Well, when I pushed her backside with my foot, she like leaned in and picked it up, bro, and then pelican swallowed it whole.
The rabbit?
The bunny rabbit, the baby bunny. She swallowed it fucking whole, bro. Like, you know how when you're trying to take something from a dog and they quickly scarf it down so you can't get it? She did that with the bunny, with the baby bunny, bro. Swallowed it whole.
Oh my God.
It's been since Memorial Day. Nothing's come of it, bro. Like she in fact, we put her in her kennel after that because Amelia was bawling, like crying.
Sure.
She tried to save the bunny rabbits at first, right? She took it around the other side to the neighbor's yard and put it with the rest of them that were there. And then we took these hay bales that we have sitting next to where our little grill station is. We bought them for Oscar because he got a bow and arrow that he was practicing with. We put the hay bales in front of the fence where she was trying to dig. Bro, that's where the fucking rabbit's nest was. and there was 2 more bunny rabbits in there.
Yeah.
She ended up getting another one out of there somehow. She dug it out, and so she's like a hunter too all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
And she was whipping this one around too, and luckily we caught her before she ate it up, and we put her on a leash, and then it was paralyzed. It was like his whole back half was just stuck and it was trying to drag.
Yeah.
So we finished it off, so it wouldn't suffer. But like, she's just a savage fucking little Shih Tzu, bro.
That's crazy.
Well, dude,
swallowed it whole.
dogs. I mean,
but I know, and I get that's totally like the nature. But
Yeah.
from a Shih Tzu, it was weird. But to swallow it whole,
That's fucked up.
and like, is it just gonna digest in
That's
her?
such a small
Can
dog.
her gut biome really dissolve that? And like, I
You
don't
think she'd like poop out some of the
she
bones
has
maybe
it.
or something?
I mean, not that we've seen anyway, but I thought for sure she'd be puking or shitting in her kennel.
it's probably just so
Nothing ever
soft,
came of it,
too.
bro.
Like since it's a baby
Yeah.
bunny, it's probably
Yeah.
just all
And
cartilage.
she goes
stuff.
from Shadow doesn't, so we still keep her on her leash. We're giving the babies some time to grow up and disappear or run from them if they need to. Shadow he's the fast one, right? He's super agile. He'll chase them, bro, all over the yard. Every time he runs out there and there's rabbits, they scatter and he chases them. But he'll get right up to them where he could just grab them and eat them if he wants, and then he stops and backs down because they didn't like they'll freeze, and then he'll stop scared. He won't do nothing to him. Lady, she'll just attack him if she gets that close, but she's not quick enough to get that close. So she swallowed a baby bunny whole, bro, and that shit tripped me out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like
So
she
many
pelicaned
baby
it, bro.
bunnies
She grabbed
die.
it and just flopped it up in her mouth a couple times, and I was like, "What the?" I was just frozen, bro. I was like, "What the fuck?" I just freaked out. Little Shih Tzu, bro.
Yeah, but just like weird.
I know.
Jack's
Weird.
run after.
It's a little bit more animalistic
Yeah.
than you would think a Shih Tzu would be.
Yeah, but just like swallowing it whole. It's
Yes.
like, what the?
Yes.
You just, when you think of a dog, you think of like them just gnawing at something,
Right.
slowly eating it, but then
Nah, bro, she swallowed it
swallowing
whole because I was
It's-
trying to take it from her. It was her. That's her personality. Is she? She's a fat ass, bro.
Yeah.
Like if she can get something, she'll swallow it whole. You give them treats because they always fight over shit, so you got to give them separate treats. They both and swallow them without chewing them real quick. They always gag and choke on them and shit. I swear to God, bro, it's the craziest thing ever. These dogs act like they're starving. They eat plenty. They eat twice a day. They get fed the amount they're supposed to eat, but
Charlie's the same
yeah,
way.
they're always just savaging for something else, man. And
Oh,
this was the
man.
weirdest experience. It just reminded me of that. But yeah, lady swallowed a fucking bunny rabbit, baby bunny rabbit. Oh,
That's so wild.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, honestly. I thought
Lately,
that was
we've been
strange.
so Jax has been dealing with his arthritis issues.
Yeah.
Every month we got to give him a Adequan, and it's an injection for
Oh,
his
shit.
joints and stuff.
Is it what does it do? It's just an arthritis medication?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's supposed to help him like loosen up his joints and whatnot.
Mhm.
But so I have to pin him. Dude, his legs are so fucking muscular.
Yeah.
It is so easy just to squeeze that muscle and just pin him. And he doesn't even move, like barely moves, but it's just so fucking funny good, like how muscular his legs are.
Yeah. So when he goes out in the backyard and there's an animal, he'll chase it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't
Charlie's a
know-
weird dog.
I
dude.
don't
He
know
doesn't
what
do
he
that?
would do.
Uh-uh.
Oh damn,
I let him out in the front and the dog will be in the front. He doesn't go for it. But obviously if they're
that's cool though. I
a
like
younger
that.
dog that I like, because when we go out and he's not going to be like off leash anywhere, I don't bring the leash with. It might be in the car, but I'll just be like, hey, come on, let's go. And I'll say in the car, and he'll jump up in the car, and I'll say stay or whatever. He doesn't do things without being told
Right.
what to do.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
we got lucky for
Yeah,
sure.
you
I
did.
mean, he was probably abused, and I never abused him, but
So I should take like in the backyard, he'll chase
Yeah,
bunnies.
not out in
but
the front.
when we go to the lake and stuff, we have the deck there. There's always dogs walking by.
Mhm.
He could care less.
yeah, no, it's birds and stuff though. Like at first he did chase after him, doesn't do it anymore. We have so many rabbits, like you said, tons of baby bunny rabbits, adult bunny rabbits, but the hawks, they'll get them.
Yeah.
They'll usually get them pretty good. So
Yeah, we got a bunch of hogs. We have since the day I've lived there, so like 11, 12 years ago now, maybe.
Right, for all the bunnies.
No, but there's a white owl that's always
That's
in
so
our
cool.
neighborhood. Always. It used to perch up on top of the neighbor's roof across
That's
the
a
street,
sign.
and we would just see it perched up there. But there's always this white owl there, man. It's mostly in the wintertime you'll see it too.
that's
flying
good.
around
Make
the
sure there's
streets.
no mice around.
Yeah. It's nuts, man. Cool, man. That was a good one. We had a lot of cool topics to talk about. That was pretty engaging, I thought. Anything you guys want to finish with last minute?
Yeah, I did write it down. Not that you guys really care, but
What?
It's gonna be lame.
It is gonna be lame, but I feel like I need to bring it up. It is. Are either of you guys? Hold on here. Let me pull it up. Are either of you guys Harry Potter fans?
No.
Cole is a huge Harry Potter fan. So.
Never watched it.
You're talking. Are you about to say the remake that they're making?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I knew it was going to be lame.
I grew up reading the books. Like I was obsessed with the movies.
Yeah.
But what is it with these fucking streaming services having to throw DEI into everything? Like
You're mad about the
understand
black.
I'm not mad about it.
Black wizard guy.
But why?
That's be
Why
black,
do you have
actually?
to deviate from the origins of the story? Severus Snape.
Yeah, Snape.
They made someone black that wasn't black.
Snape is white.
They said in the book he's a pale, white-skinned man.
Yeah, now he's
with black hair, and they made it.
Okay, yeah,
not only
that's
that,
dumb.
But Hermione Granger, one of the females, they put. I think she's a mixed girl, but again, a white girl made a mixed girl.
In all the movies, these people are white. So
Just,
that's
like
crazy.
Like Ariel, a white girl with red hair. They had to put a fucking black girl. Snow White,
which is crazy.
White girl with black hair.
But we all know.
Don't even watch Harry Potter.
Why do you have to deviate?
But
from the origins?
but you know already. Like this isn't the consensus. This isn't what people wanted. This isn't what black culture was
Look
like.
at
Do
Snow
this.
White, how much it
No,
bombed.
they're pandering, bro. They're tricking people into this idea like of self-segregation, making black everything, and so that they don't have to put signs up that say blacks only or whites only. They can now avoid putting up signs and have the blacks be like, nah, blacks only.
Yeah.
And then they get what they want, bro. They took them back to the 60s and said, yeah, you guys are segregated again. But this time you did it. That's why you took out Aunt Jemima. You took out Uncle Ben. You're not in mainstream grocery stores anywhere anymore with somebody who did something good for your culture. You removed them because we convinced you it was racist. And now you're telling everyone support black love, black owned businesses, black this, black that. It's self-segregation. It's a trick, and that's what they're doing with this kind of shit. They're making the non-black Americans build a hatred towards black culture by manipulation. So then there's this new black exhaustion bullshit that white people are using to say they're not racist, but they are. And then black culture is hating just as much backwards. So we're all agreeing to have this divide, or what I like to call segregation, without realizing we've fallen into the trap. And so them putting all these characters and making them black is to get people riled up like this and be like, what the fuck? Why? Why does everything got to be black? And black people, for the most part, are like, my bad, bro. Like, we didn't want this shit.
Yeah.
You know, there's the few arrogant non-contributors to society who are like, that's right. You know, like black everything. And it's just like, okay, you're an idiot. Go away. But the majority of civilized human beings are like, dude, we didn't ask for this shit.
Yeah.
Don't be mad at us. You know what I mean? It's all a big game and a big trap, bro.
It's
That's
just like-
that's a whole nother podcast.
If you want to do something like that, be original. Make
That's what I'm
something.
saying.
yes,
Make your
make your
original
own
story.
Like I was okay when they were like, we need a black superhero. I'm like, yeah, make one. Don't turn one black.
Yeah.
Make your own.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
Yes.
Or bring back some of the old ones. They used to have black superheroes. Bring them back. You know what I mean? Like, but don't fucking turn them from white to black.
That doesn't make any
that's
sense.
clearly you're trying to do something with that.
But it doesn't make me feel good as a
Right.
black person. Like,
you don't got nothing of your own. You had to take it
yeah,
from
you
white
took
people
it
as
from
if they
somebody.
owed you something. Yeah, it's crazy.
You're
bro.
not smart enough to think of something that is just as good. Why not?
Right.
Make a new Harry Potter.
Right.
Not Harry Potter, but a different story.
Make your own version.
But you guys, a lot of this stuff, like these writers and stuff, they are white liberals.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like that's why.
Yeah.
It's a
Game.
brainwash.
It's a game. It's
But
a
they're
total game.
gonna get. I swear to God, they're gonna get their pee slapped because they're getting demolished in the box office and in all these.
Yeah,
other-
all these movies that they're doing that with are just failing at the
Yeah.
box
Big time.
office. Yeah,
big time.
And
Yep.
you want to know who controls the cinema?
CIA.
CIA.
Yeah, it's in the word.
Jewish people.
Oh,
You can't spell cinema without CIA, bro.
That's true.
you're saying. Oh, you're saying Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
okay.
of it, I guess. Yeah.
Oh. Cool.
All right. Cody's not racist.
He's not.
Right on. Well, good show, guys. I appreciate
Wait. We do have to talk about they're charging that Anthony guy as an adult, which is what we all wanted.
Yes,
Charging him as
That's
an
right.
adult and for first-degree murder or third-degree murder?
I think it
One
was
of the
third
two.
degree.
Third-degree
Yeah, I
murder.
think it was third degree.
With the possibility of no parole life in prison.
Yeah.
Which is what we all.
I think that's what they should have done.
Yeah.
That's the right thing to do, regardless of skin color. The circumstances alone are weird, and they were trying to race bait with that whole.
Yeah, 17 and committing a murder like that, you have to be charged as an adult.
For sure.
Doesn't make any sense not to.
I mean, if you can bang them when they're 17, you can charge them as adults, right?
I don't agree with the first statement.
Neither
so
do
I can't
I'm just saying that by the ideology of popular, America or rich privilege, if you will. Yeah, it's all nonsense. But yeah, good. I'm glad they went that route, man. I think that's necessary.
For sure.
And it makes a statement, a good statement. So doesn't matter the color of your skin, just don't do stupid shit.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Right on. Everybody else, appreciate you guys checking us out. I do want to quick before we sign off here. No, we're going to sign off right now. But this is the closure. We are adding more to the Something About Everything Culture Brands YouTube page. You're going to find more segments coming out. We just started a vlog series for the gym over at HQ Gym. Where you're going to see just gym vlogs happening with, the first one we did was Cody and one of the trainers at our gym. It'll be myself, Dion, or just random people within the gym. I'm giving them opportunities to say, hey, grab your training partner. If you guys want to shoot, a gym vlog, I've got the mics, the cameras, let's set it up. It's just to add more content to the page to help. The page is almost to 15,000 subscribers right now. So I just want to plug away at putting content out. And then on top of that, I'm adding another segment with my boy Solomon that came in as a guest. We're going to be doing the SNS podcast, which is the Skeptic and Soldier, where we're going to take some of the topics that we talked about already and kind of just get his input from his high level in Marine Corps intelligence and the space program stuff that he works in the private sector now, and just see what more information he has, what he's willing to speak on. I did let him know that we all believe he's compromised as it is. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of stuff we talk about. But yeah.
Okay, real quick. I watched this show on YouTube. It's called The Y-Files. It's very, very interesting, right?
Yeah.
They talk about all the conspiracy theories, whatnot. He was on Joe Rogan, and they were talking about like the moon landing and shit.
Yeah,
dude. I'm against
Solomon was wrong.
Yeah, I don't buy it, dude. I don't
buy that one.
We should look up the coordinates and see if there's anyone's ever done it.
I've never heard of that prior.
Me
to him
either.
Saying
Yeah.
it, so sorry, Saul. I'm not.
You're compromised, bro.
I don't buy it.
He defends Israel too. We actually recorded an episode today, which will be coming out soon. I'll just give a little teaser to it. But we were going to talk about the Michael Herrera thing. We did record that one once, but it was fucked up. So we went at it a second time to try to re-record. And instead of going into that, because of what I sent you guys this morning, which I'm not sure you watched it yet. What's that guy that's filling in for Candace Owens right now?
Ian Carroll.
Ian Carroll did he released one today on her show talking about Stephen Greer being a potential Israel asset
Yep.
and has been all this time. And so we kind of talked about that a little bit too.
If that's true, I called that he was a liar first off from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, bro, it's all falling apart. It's all weird. It's crazy. But that was kind of the topic that we went into a little bit today. We're just doing like 30 to 45 minute segments. And
is he just zooming in?
Yeah, he does it through Zoom.
Awesome.
We created these cool backdrops and shit with the logo for the pod, and it's going to be on our Culture Brands Something About Everything segments. We'll just create a different podcast segment for those series.
Yeah,
and then we're just going to have that much more content on the pod to run off of. So should be dope, man.
Love it.
Again, appreciate everyone checking us out. For reals this time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel. Tell your friends about us. Don't tell your friends about us. Talk good, talk bad. It does not really matter as long as you are talking about us. Peace.